Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And the season is getting underway. Preseason games have already started, which means it is time for me to start dropping my awards, who I think is going to win the awards, who's going to be a finalist, what's the top 5 going to look like. So today, I'm going to go through my Vezina ballot. I'm going to give you my full 1 through 5, as well as some honorable mentions and maybe like a dark horse pick for you guys to potentially put some money on, a little betting, all that. But I think the Vezina is a very open award, obviously. When looking at the other awards, Hart, McDavid healthy, he's probably going to win it. Norris, Makar healthy, he's probably going to win it. So in my opinion, maybe Calder race, but if Bedard's healthy, he's probably going to win as well. Screw it. Vezina is the most interesting race pretty easily in terms of personal awards this season. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes. In my opinion, there's a clear top 5 goalies in this league. Any of them can win any given season, as well as some dark horses. You got your Linus Ullmarks, as well as other guys that are maybe on stud teams that can come out of nowhere and win it. So without further ado, I'm going to first give some honorable mentions for me. Up first, Alexander Georgiev. He's obviously an honorable mention just because he's the starting goalie for the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado Avalanche are going to be a 105-plus point team. So if he racks up, let's say like 37, 38 wins, maybe he goes north of 40, that's going to put him in contention. He did get some Vezina votes last year. I'm not sure that he has the upwards potential to actually be a finalist, but he can definitely end up being top 5. Moving on, I don't think UC Saros is going to finish top 5. That might be controversial, but I personally do not have him in top 5 right now just because I don't think the Nashville Predators are going to be that good of a team. I think they're going to be like high 80s, maybe low 90s, and last year it kind of screwed him. In my opinion, he should have pretty easily been a Vezina finalist, either finished second or third. Some advanced stats models had him as the best goalie in all of hockey last year, but because he was on the Nashville Predators that really weren't that good of a team, especially defensively, his advanced stats were great, but he only posted like a 919 and like a 275, so some of the boomer voters didn't really take him serious as an actual Vezina candidate, and I think the same is going to happen next year. I think the Predators could be even worse, so if he has a below average record as well as not good regular stats, that's going to take him out, in my opinion. He's still a top 4 goalie for me. He's the 4th best goalie in hockey for me, but I think next season, that's why a list like this, it is fun. This isn't just my top 10. It's looking at next season. I'm not that high on UC Saros. As for my dark horse pick, this might get some people pissed, but I'm going with Stuart Skinner. I think there's some dark horse value in Stuart Skinner as a Vezina winner, honestly. I wish you could bet on Vezina finalists, but in terms of Stuart Skinner, Edmonton Oilers, like with an Alexander Georgiev, they should be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. If Jack Campbell really can't pull his stuff together, Stuart Skinner started, I believe, 49 games, posted a 913, and that was with the Edmonton Oilers trying to play Jack Campbell at the start of the year, being like, this is our guy. We're gonna keep on sticking with him. And then eventually they had to be like, yeah, we got to go to Stuart Skinner. So start the year this year, I think Stuart Skinner is going to be the 1A. And if Jack Campbell continues to struggle, I don't think they're going to be like, yeah, we're paying Jack Campbell $5 million. We need to throw him out there, even though he's posting an 880. I think the Jack Campbell is in like a do or die situation. He does not have the benefit of the doubt because of that contract. It is going to be Stuart Skinner's net to start the year off. So if he ends up going, again, talking about Georgiev, 38 wins, 39 wins, posts a 918, 920 maybe, just because the Edmonton Oilers are such a good team. Maybe. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but maybe. Dark horse, I really like that value. When looking at dark horses, starting goalies on very good teams. That's kind of like my motto. But without further ado, let's get into the actual top 5. At number 5, I got Connor Hellebuyck. In the last 6 seasons, he has 4 top 4 finishes. And it's a pretty interesting case with him because obviously if he got traded to a better situation, I think he'd be higher on this list. He's either be number 3 or number 4 for me. The Winnipeg Jets, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to perform this year. The good thing is with Hellebuyck is if they aren't performing that well, he's probably going to get traded out of town. But if they're not performing very well at the start of the season, it's probably because he's not playing that great or he's allowing some goals. Maybe it won't be his fault. But if he is on the Winnipeg Jets, you can basically pencil him in for 60 starts. He's an absolute workhorse. He has by far the most games over the last 3 years and has consistently posted great advanced stats as well as consistently being over a 910 save percentage. For a Connor Hellebuyck this year, I would expect 918, decent record, 2.5 goals against. He's Mr. Consistency. Another guy that's Mr. Consistency in number 4, even more consistent, is obviously Andrei Vasilevsky. Each of the last 7 seasons, he's posted at least a 915. So I think him in the 4 spot. I'm not sure he's going to be top 3 because he just hasn't really taken his game to that next level, at least in the regular season. He seems to kind of coast in the regular season now. Hopefully, because the Lightning are in a tougher Atlantic division now, maybe he will kind of feel the pressure to get to that next level. And he hasn't been a Vezina finalist for the past 2 years, so I think he is going to be a bounce back contender this year, but I think number 4 is pretty safe. He's consistently led the league in goals the past couple years besides the most recent year, so you can pencil him in for like 37 goals and solid goaltending play above a 915. So kind of a safe pick. I don't really think he's going to win another Vezina in his career at this point. I don't think Tampa's that good of a team, and I don't think they're going to care about the regular season enough, but still a very good goalie, going to be consistent. Number 3, Ilya Sorokin. A year ago, 2 years ago, he posted a 925. Then this most recent year, he posted a 924. Arguably should have won the Vezina this year. So, in my opinion, yes, he's posted a 925 and a 924 the past 2 years. I think not like a massive regression where he's like not a good goalie next year, but I think there is a chance for some type of regression in terms of maybe he posts a 919 this year, which is still great, and especially on an Islanders team, that could get him to be a Vezina finalist. I just think last year was so amazing that similarly to another guy that I'm gonna have higher up on the list, he has that great year. Then he pulls back a little bit. The one thing with him is he's gonna be playing a lot of games because the Islanders are gonna need him to be fantastic. So he's got the game advantage. I could see him going for like 65 games if Varlamov's not on his A game this year. But I think 3rd spot is pretty fair. The only concern I have with him is when it comes to those old school voters, I'm not sure Sorokin's going to really be able to rack up those wins like the 2 guys that I have ahead of him. And in 2nd place, I got Jake Ottinger. This might be a little bit out there. I have Jake Ottinger. I just think it's all coming together for that Dallas core. I think they're going to be a very good team next year. And if he gets 62, 63 starts, he'd be my personal pick to lead the NHL in wins. I think Dallas is probably the best regular season team in terms of the Western Conference after posting 109 points. I think they somehow improved their forward core. Their defense should internally improve a little bit. Guys like Thomas Harley kind of taking that next step. And you look at Jake Ottinger, broke into the league at only 22, posted a 911, then the following year a 914, then the most recent year a 919. He might not have the best advanced stats like a Sorokin, like a Vasilevsky, like a Hellebuck, but if he can go 923, 924 with 41, 42 wins, that's going to get him a Vezina finalist, especially because he's kind of like a media darling because he was that goaltender picked in the 1st round, American kid. He has all the narratives going for him, so I think even if his advanced stats aren't that impressive. It's similarly to a Jacob Markstrom in 2022, who also was on a great Flames team, but his advanced stats weren't the best. I think we could see that with Jake Ottinger, where the analytics community hates that he's like going to be a Vezina finalist, but the raw regular stats of posting a 924, has a 2.23 and 41 wins, that's just going to overpower it so much. I don't think Jake Ottinger's a top 2 goalie in the NHL. I think you know I'm saying that by now. But I think he, in terms of Vezina next year, I saw the top 5 dogs, the other guys that I mentioned, are all at like plus 600. He was at like plus 1,300. I think that is fantastic value, again, because the Vezina is not just the best player. It's usually the best goalie on a decent to good playoff team, and Jake Ottinger is definitely going to be on a safe playoff team, most likely. And by now, probably assume who I have winning the Vezina next year. I've made a post or two. I think I've alluded to this multiple times, but I got Igor Shesterkin. I got the New York Rangers, Igor Shesterkin winning the Vezina. The first thing that I really like about this pick is once they signed Jonathan Quick, I'm like, check, Igor Shesterkin's playing 62, 63 games. He won the Vezina 2 years ago, obviously with a 935, 207, one of the best individual regular seasons by a goalie. Him and Carey Price and maybe Bobrovsky in 2017. Those are probably the 3 best regular seasons by a goalie. So he has that high upside. Even last year was a 916, 257, I think, which is still very solid numbers. But if with the New York Rangers this year, Jonathan Quick, Jarl Halak was actually a solid backup. I think Jonathan Quick's going to be bad. He's going to have to play a ton of games. And the New York Rangers in their own division for the past couple of years have kind of safely been that third or second best team in the division. Next year, they're going to be battling with Pittsburgh, battling with New York. So he's going to have to not only play a lot of games, but a lot of high pressure and important games. He's not going to be taking nights off once they lock up the 3 seed in the Metro division. So looking at Igor Shesterkin, I've already seen him win the Vezina once. So that obviously helps a lot. I know what the peak of his game is. And out of all these active guys, in terms of like a peak regular season, Vasilevsky obviously in the playoffs goes to another level. But Shesterkin probably has the best upside in terms of regular season over a 50 to 60 game thing. And if he played like that in 52 games and won the Vezina, if he goes 62 games and has a 9.29 and a 2.12, I think that's going to be enough to win the Vezina. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about these picks? So I go Hellebuck, Vasilevsky, Sorokin, Ottinger, Shesterkin. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? What's your Vezina ballot looking like? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Let me stop this recording.